What's going on, everybody? Rob here, aka Triv2323. I'm gonna get off to the side sometimes here because I'm gonna try to put some pictures in behind here. But this is my fifth boat I checked out. And it kind of did not work out this season. As you know, I've been trying to get a boat. I had my little John boat. Believe it or not, when the Coast Guard, no, the Forest Preserve people measured it, it was 15 3/4. So I always would have said it was a 16-foot boat. But on the title, it said a 14-foot boat. It was like an 88 or 89 Sea Nymph that I had. Maybe even 85 with a Johnson 25. Awesome boat. But here's the thing. This is a couple things. This is the fifth one I tried out. But let me go to the thing why I didn't get a boat this year after all. Okay, so I sold my boat because I stopped using it as much. I didn't go out fishing as much. Different reasons why. But I did have everything done right. I had a nice tarp on it. I had a nice canvas on it. I even put a plastic over the canvas, and everything was done right. Although since I wasn't using it, it got a soft spot. It was an aluminum boat with the plywood on it, with the carpet on it, and a John boat kind of conversion. But I started getting a soft spot in it, and I felt that if I wasn't using it, if I wasn't uncovering it, letting it breathe, going out on it, that I got a soft spot in it. Therefore, I sold it. I sold the Sea Nymph with the Johnson motor and a canoe for $1,000 is what I sold it for. And the trailer. So somebody went and took it, and I've been missing a boat, not having one in my backyard. So I've been on this mad quest to find a boat. I looked at a 25-foot boat, a 27-foot boat, another 25-foot boat, a 15-foot or 16-foot boat, and a 17-foot boat. Okay, now here's the things. I was having so much anxiety, believe it or not, so much anxiety about not having a boat on my property. Now I'm in the city of Chicago. My lot is actually an older lot that's 10 foot wider than a standard city lot. But I have the big 12-foot sliding gate that you can see in the videos that I could pull it in, and it would sit in my backyard on the side of my house. Okay, so with these larger boats, I actually was going to Sunset Bay Marina in Chicago, Burnham, all the way to the end of Chicago, right before Burnham, Illinois. And they were more than helpful, more than willing, more than helpful to educate me and teach me. I've been going through Chicago Yacht Works with Carolyn and Scott over there, and they've been more than happy to educate me on boats and everything. So everybody was pushing me to get the inspections on the boats, the inspections. So Mel, out of Wisconsin, he's awesome with inspections, and he thermal images boats, okay? So the first boat I put $1,000 down on was out of Michigan, and I put the $1,000 down on it, and they were going to get me a financer for it or whatever, and so I went through them, and the financer came back saying that, their own financer came back saying that we don't feel the boat is worth the value that they're asking. We feel it's worth this value, so we will give you the loan on the boat, but we're only going to give you a loan up to this value because we don't feel that it's worth that value. So I had all the contracts done and everything. I contacted the guy back. I said, you know what, I can't procure the loan because your financiers are telling me I'm underwater on the boat. The boat was pristine. I mean, pristine boat, and I love the Carver Santa Cruzes. I am in love with an 87 Carver Santa Cruz. Love them to death. So that's the one it was, the 87 Carver Santa Cruz. I mean, meticulous, stored indoors, everything. And but if I wasn't going to get something that I'm going to be underwater on, that's not worth the value. So I got out of that one. But researching online, still looking for boats, somebody else paid for this evaluation on that boat. And it came back that there was a crack in the block, in the engine block. Now, it's not leaking water, but the crack is in the block. So I didn't do that, didn't pay for somebody else, paid for that inspection. And I was like, you know what, a crack in the block, and heck, if I would have got it, I'd have got stuck possibly with the crack in the block, although I did have an inspection on the next one, so let's go there. So anyways, the boat, even though it's stored indoors and it looks meticulous, there was a crack in the block. Have your boat inspected. Okay, next one coming down, it's a 27-foot Sea Ray. Stored indoors, 27-foot Sea Ray. Put the money down, awesome price, $600, $595, $600 for the guy to come down, thermal image the boat, everything, thermal image on the outside, moisture meter on the inside of the boat. This is a 87 Sea Ray, 27-foot, had the nice bedroom, the aft little bedroom underneath, and the bathroom, and the sink. And so everything came back that solid. This boat is solid as a rock, solid as a tank. There's nothing wrong with the boat. Didn't check the motor though. He recommended I hire that motor specialist to check the motor. But the great thing about where I was buying it from is they do a mechanical check, because believe it or not, I feel bad. The owner of the boat wanted a solid boat to be sold to somebody, so he paid $3,500 to have all the stuff, the shift cables or whatever, down to the transom and all that redone, and they realigned the motor in the boat and did some other stuff. $3,500 worth. So anyways, before the sea trial, they put the boat, like, I didn't know it took like 3 days for a sea trial at this place. It's pretty awesome though, because one day they put in the water, the next day they start it up, do the mechanical check, and the next time you do your sea trial. Anyway, so the boat was rock solid, 87 Sea Ray, 87 Sea Ray, 27-foot Sea Ray. So they put the boat in the water, it floated, they turned the key the first time, started right up, and I didn't know this was a thing, but this is a thing that it sucked water through the back where the exhaust pipe goes into the engine, and you have a 27-foot fiberglass paperweight now. Okay, so what happens is it does suck water in, but through the impeller to go through the engine, and then there's a water jacket when it comes out that the sleeves come over the exhaust pipe, which is cast iron, and it comes out and goes into the water. Well, sometimes it plugs up right there, and sometimes the rust hole comes through there and it goes right back into the engine. That's what happened. So people called me and says, you know what, no mechanic check, no boat. All right, so I looked at another 25-footer, and this one, man, I've been reading, I've been researching, I know everything about a boat, and I go check it out. The guy was completely honest with me, and I appreciate it. Low compression in the motor. Low compression in the motor. It's a 200 horsepower motor, low compression. If there's low compression in the cylinder, you need another motor. All the research, you could do this, you could do that, you could do this, you need another motor. The cylinder's bad, and Calumet Marine says normally, however many cylinders you got, picture $1,000 per cylinder if you want us to rebuild that motor. Okay, so he was honest with that. The boat, beautiful, re-epoxied it, re-epoxied this. The transom actually had a crack in it, or was rotted. The transom was rotted at one point. So how he repaired it was, this transom was solid. He cut the rest of the transom out and re-put another piece of wood and epoxied them together. If you got a 200 horsepower motor on it, to me, you should have had one solid transom, not two pieces epoxied together. Didn't happen with that one. All right, a rinker, 15-foot rinker. The guy's giving me phenomenal price. I was eyeballing this boat for a long time. Phenomenal price. This, that, and the other. Oh man, I'll give it to you for this. So I stopped by there to check out the rinker. I jump in the rinker and I look where the bilge hole is, because where the bilge is normally kind of the lowest part, because that's what's supposed to shoot out the water. The bilge pump's supposed to shoot out the water. So the boat's been stored outside. I should have known it was going to be soft. There was a couple soft spots on it. I felt where the bilge pump was to fill the bilge pump. I put my hand into like this deep of water, and there's no plug in it. And it's just this deep in water. Like the wood was just rotted and sagged down in there. And so the whole transom was rotted. But I could see this because I noticed this, because when you got the back motor tilted up, you kind of push down on it and pull up on it. And the transom was doing this. When I was doing that, then I looked, and in the front of the transom, somebody had two pieces of aluminum bolted to the transom. So somebody already knew the transom was shot. Now, can you fix a transom? Yes, you can fix a transom. I know I can fix a transom. I don't got the time or the oomph to do it anymore. Last boat, perfect guy. I mean, this guy was the coolest, awesome guy. We went back and forth, awesome communication. And the boat's immaculate. I mean, he said the boat's in good condition. The boat was in like upper good to excellent position. It was a 94 Bayliner. And everybody says, oh, stay away from Bayliner this, Bayliner that, Bayliner that. I'm going to wind up buying a brand new Bayliner, all right? Bayliner apparently had bubbles in the holes in the 80s. This is a long way from the 80s. One thing also about the older holes than the newer holes, the older holes were hand laid and hand rolled. A lot of the newer ones are sprayed. So anyway, the boat was immaculate. New seats, camper cover, not the Bimini, the camper cover, the new bow cover. okay, say the boat was immaculate. The trailer was beautiful, and I was almost this close to getting it. And the guy, you would have had the sale, but my wife, I always have her with the money, and it's so funny because my wife with the money will not let that out of her hand no matter what. She does not want to let it go, which she knows how I am, that I'm just like, oh, here, I want it, here, give me it, I want it. And my wife's like, nah, 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 nah. She'll hold it till the very last end to make sure everything's right because she knows how I am. And I love her for that because I would have brought the boat home and found out that I had to replace the whole stringers and bulkhead. Either way, so the boat's immaculate, everything's nice. I even back up my van. I'm getting ready to, and I'm like, oh man, I didn't check the storage locker. The storage locker on the Bayliners is at the bottom. You pop it up and you pop it up, and that's kind of a little, it's a storage liner, but it's the bottom of the boat, and there's holes that go through every compartment to the bilge pump to shoot the water out. But anyways, as soon as I took it out and looked under the bulkhead, it was completely soggy. If you did a newspaper and water and just let it set, that's how the bulkhead was. And the crazy thing is it hasn't rained in a while. So why was the bulkhead that soggy? And it has covers on it, and the guy he did everything right. Fogged the motor. He freaking had a double cover on it to keep the moisture on it. And so my conspiracy theory is, because if you walk in the grass in the summertime or the fall or whatever, there's so much dew and condensation. And I got a garage, I got a regular metal carport, and I had a plastic carport. Anything in that plastic big tarp carport had condensation and rusted. So it's like the condensation that sat there without the air circulation really messed it up. But anything in the garage doesn't get that, and anything just under the carport really don't get that. So it's kind of crazy that you tarp it and you cover it, just like my boat is tarped, it's covered, it's everything, but the wood still goes bad. So I'm at the point right now where I'm going to, needless to say, why I didn't get that boat, and I felt so bad because the guy he was like, dumb man, it had a Force 120 on it. And a lot of people are like, oh, the Force 120. Some got the bad raps and some swear it's bulletproof. I must swear it as bulletproof. The trim on it worked. The Force 120, man, it is, or Force 100, it's a massive engine. It's by, I think it's Mercury. And it's a two-stroke. So with the two-stroke, they do burn more gas, but they are easier to work on, easier to maintain than the four-strokes. The four-strokes are the cost of a car or more, and they take more to maintain, but you can be out on the water a lot longer. So with the four-stroke, you're looking at more money to maintain it, but you're kind of getting back on gas mileage. So anyways, the funny thing is I had my grandson with me, and he's seen the hitch on the van. He seen me back up the van, and he fell asleep. So when we were walking, we would go visit my mom and dad. We're walking, and he looked at my trailer hitch and says, hey, where's the boat? Because he thought we were bringing the boat home. Crushed I was, crushed the owner of the boat was, and crushed my grandson was. I must have looked like a little kid pouting and crying because my wife was rubbing my back, says, don't worry, wait till the boat show and you can get a new one. So people complain about Bayliners, Bayliners. I'm buying a Bayliner. I already went online, they're $3,000 off right now. They'll even do the financing right there online for you if you need to. And at the boat show, they pull all these boats in and everything over there, but they really don't want to take them home, so they kind of give you a break on them. So I'm looking at a 17-foot Bayliner because I could fit it in my garage, I could fit it in my yard, I could keep it here. Okay, so during the winter season, everything could be here. I could buff it, I could polish it, I could clean it, I could vacuum it, I could do whatever I want here. And then during marina season, it could go to the Hammond Marina, and at the Hammond Marina, I paid $2,300 for the season, and it could be in there. Now, granted, it's a Bayliner. Some people might say, oh, look at him, but it's serving my purpose. Now, my family, I have a 22, 26, and 29-year-old, okay? So my youngest son and my oldest daughter love to fish. I love to fish. They love to fish, and they love to be out on the water. My middle daughter, we took her to Disney when the shark thing, when the Jaws, when it kind of goes and the shark comes up. Well, she was kind of too small, and she's paranoid of water, and she's paranoid of sharks, thanks to mom and dad taking her to Disney. So that really didn't work out too good. But either way it goes, I am looking at a Bayliner because it's the introductory to boating. You could get a Bayliner, you put a couple grand down, and your payment's going to be about $200, $250 a month. Of course, you're going to have to pay the maintenance of the marina for you, but it comes with a 5-year warranty. I am getting a bow rider, bow rider, or whatever. People say, oh, those are bad for the lake because when the water splashes over the front, if you got a bow rider, it goes into your bilge and you have to have enough pumps to pump it out. But if you got a cuddy cabin and it goes over the top with the cuddy cabin, it just washes off. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I don't have the 40 or 50 grand for a cuddy cabin. A bow rider is going to be about 20 to 25 grand. Okay, so I would love a new cuddy cabin, but in the same, I wouldn't, because in my mind, I know 17 foot is comfortable for us to fit on this property here. And if you're getting a bigger boat and you don't got the property for it, when you hitch it up and you take it, at that point, you're going to have to pay to store it somewhere unless you got your own property to store it. Well, the 17 foot, I know I can store on my property and I'm very comfortable with it. At the marina, I am going to pay for the camper cover, and oh man, it's pretty awesome. Now they got a bow camper cover off, so look up those. Those are pretty awesome also. So that's where I'm at with the boat. 5th one didn't work out. 2019 is the scratch. Look forward to 2020 and watch for the video why I haven't been fishing. Talk to you later. Subscribe, like, and share. Bye-bye.